Welcome to High School Football America's podcast, and all week long we've been looking at the Pius X Royals High School Football program as it starts the 2010 season, and we're joined today by head coach Phil Stambaugh. Phil, thanks for joining us, and let's just hop right into it and get into, you had your first scrimmage yesterday against Catasauqua, so break it down. What were the good, the bad, and the ugly things you saw yesterday?
Well, thanks for having me on, Jeff, and right now I'd say our team, we had a very good week of practice leading up to the scrimmage, and for our first test of the season against a different opponent, I was pleased at times, mainly with the defense. Our offensive skill positions played pretty well. Offensive line was my big disappointment on the day. We weren't very crisp to start, and then we started to get a little sluggish and tired towards the end of the scrimmage. We had one very good drive, which we scored on. And other than that, it was a little shaky at times.
So is it one of those things where you can get a real good gauge in a scrimmage how the kids are going to do in a game, or is it just a little too controlled to really figure out what's going to happen when you start playing for real?
You start out and you go 10 and 10 and 10 and 10, and you're basically just, there's no situation, so you're just calling plays to get something run. And once we got into the game situations, I felt that we did a little bit better. Overall, I was pleased with our effort. It's certainly something to build from, and with a young team like I have, I think we'll only get better, and certainly we'll work very hard this week and correct our mistakes and point to our next scrimmage as another test and another chance to improve from where we were this week.
So you'll get Wilson next week. Now let's take a look back at the first week of camp. You had Camp Royal, which is where you keep the kids on campus there, and I know that's to build camaraderie, so I want you to kind of talk a little bit about how you saw the team grow coming together like that, and then just kind of break down what the week went like. You said you were fairly happy with it, but maybe give us a couple of names of kids that really caught your eye.
The week at Camp Royal was a great experience, I think, and I got a lot of positive feedback not only from the kids, but the coaches and the parents that were involved. And I was very pleased with how our team has started to gel, over the week of camp, and them staying on campus and having their meals there, and getting a good amount of practice time in. And I think that's going to be very beneficial to us in the long run. Guys, our two co-captains, George D'Alessandro and Zach Sinelli, were selected this week, and both of them have done an excellent job of being leaders for us during the course of the week. I was very pleased with my top two running backs, Nick DeRay and Boise Ross, junior. Nicky's a junior and Boise's a sophomore. I was very pleased with their performance throughout the week. R.J. Coleman, senior defensive end, had a great week of practice for us. Nico Gaffredo, junior, that's primarily playing defense for us right now, had a great week of practice. And, what was disappointing about the scrimmage at the end of the week is the offensive line did such a good job during the week against our own guys, and then when we saw a different team, I don't know if it was fatigue from the long week of camp or what, but we weren't executing it, and that was the disappointing part.
Okay, let's switch to grading yourself now. You graded everybody else. I was there, of course, the first 3 days, and I know this program is all about tradition. I mean, most of those guys, I think, 8 out of the 11 guys there are Pius grads and all that. You obviously have great camaraderie, I saw, with the coaches and that, but how do you think you did in your first week as a head coach when it came to the two-a-days?
Well, for me, it's not like it's a new experience, but it's an experience certainly that I want to make sure it's as perfect as I can make it for, to have the most success I can for my team and the coaching staff. I think I did pretty well in organizing everything and getting our team prepared, to be successful at the end of the week in the scrimmages. And I'm going to continue to work hard. And actually, I'm on my way right now to break down the Caddy scrimmage again, and we're going to take this week coming up to prepare for Pottstown, our week one opponent. Obviously the scrimmage is coming up, but we're going to take the extra week to really get ready for our week one opponent.
obviously the old quarterback never dies when it comes to watching film work with you, it seems like. So let's the last question to wrap up with is what do you do this last week to get ready for the Wilson scrimmage and then kind of get these kids, you know, on that peak that you need going into the season opener against Pottstown?
Well, this will be our last week in a true camp mode. I mean, we have doubles that will run from Monday to Friday. We'll have our second scrimmage on Saturday afternoon at 10 o'clock. And next week they'll be into school mode. And they go back to school on Monday. So this is our last real week of, you know, a hard install in camp before the season really gets kicked off. And you know, we're gonna mainly prepare for Pottstown with the idea that we're going against a very good Wilson team that's going to give us another test to see where we're at. And like I said from the beginning, with a young team, we need to have success early. And we saw there were certainly some bright spots. There were certainly some kids out there really playing hard and giving it, you know, everything that they had. And if I could get the whole group, all 50, to do that, then I think we'll really have something.
Okay, Phil, we'll talk to you next week. And for the people out there listening to this, if you want to learn more about the Pius X Royals, check out highschoolfootballamerica.com. Plenty of videos there. And talk to you next week, Phil.
All right. Thanks a lot, Jeff.